To our next guest, it's Vijay Gnanadesikan, something like that. Sorry, I'm not good in Indian. So Vijay, and he's from a company called FaceTagr. Is he here already?
Yeah,
Yeah,
Vijay,
he's
come.
coming up. Right. So this is a challenge, Vijay.
Yeah, and it is Gnanadesikan. Can you try?
Ga
Gnanadesikan.
Gnanadesikan. Well, something like that. Right. So, but the real challenge I want to put forward to him is not his name. FaceTagr. Okay. If you were following the press in the latest, weeks, you might have come around a company, Clearview. Any one of you heard about the company called Clearview? You better should. Because they've got 3 billion faces combined with names. 3 billion faces combined with your names. So you should better know this company, Clearview. What did they do? They went up to Facebook, Instagram and all that, and collected all the faces there, connected that with the names, and they provided these services now to, who knows? So let's see what FaceTagr does and how do you play in that game. Thank you very much, FaceTagr.
A model to pronounce Indian names. So, for the record, and thanks to Jan for the introduction, for the record, we don't profile people from Facebook, so just to clear the record. All right. I want to start with this question, what is a smart city? So I've been listening to different speakers about smart city. Smart city can be water management, transportation management, people management, it can be anything, right? So how do you define smart city? Is there a definition for smart city? I've been reading across. So the definition for a smart city varies from one city to another, one country to another. So the definition of a smart city itself is kind of dilute. The way I see a smart city is about how do you guarantee, how do you serve the aspirations and the needs of its citizens? So what do you do for infrastructure? How do you curate them and deliver to the citizens? That's what I see as a definition of a smart city. That's how I see it, right? So India, as you know, is growing. Urbanization is growing. People are moving into cities. So how do you manage people in a smart city with this overpopulated, there are traffic jams, there are things which come with the overpopulation, with the limited, land which is there in the city, right? So, I see it this way. So, to become a smart city, you need to have smarter campuses, smarter buildings. Then you build smarter communities, and then smarter cities will evolve. And there are 3 different stakeholders, and all 3 needs to put together. So things will evolve and talk to each other and become a smart city. So FaceTagr is a computer vision company. So to create a smart city, we need data. So it's all about data. So what computer vision does is, it takes a camera feed and it can actually create data, infer a lot of data, which can help governments, organizations to, plan, maintain, and predict things. So we create a smarter city, smarter places, so we can cater to the citizens much better, right? So, I'll show you a few examples which are going around the globe in terms of computer vision. My previous speakers have actually spoken about it as well. There are satellite imagery being used to sense different things, from movement of vehicles to where to place transformer towers, things like that, right? So there are many things which is happening in the satellite space. There are, the speaker from IBM spoke about how healthcare, Watson is starting to predict, Google is predicting more diseases than, a human doctor would actually do. So these are all tools which will augment things for the human, not really replace them. That's how I see it. We are in a very, very nascent stage of AI, and that's what I believe in. Agri-tech, which is very, very important for India. A lot of the country is actually dependent on agriculture. There's a lot of activity going on in the startup space as well as organizational space where technology is moving into agriculture, predicting diseases in plants and things like that, right? And, in the US, they're still, figuring out whether a burger is cooked or not, okay? It's still AI, right? So, I'm going to walk you through what all we do with FaceTagr and some examples of how data becomes valuable for cities and organizations. So we make them seamless, secure, and smart. So starting from organizations, we need to make organizations, buildings, campuses smart. So that starts from digitizing, right? So starting from attendances, how do you digitize them? So that makes it secure. So who enters the building? Who enters the campus? So we power turnstiles, access controls with face recognition. So you're getting rid of RFID cards and things like that. So, you're becoming environment friendly at the same time you're making it extremely, extremely secure for the organization, right? That's a video of a school, in fact, a government school in Chennai. So the girls are walking in. So the camera there is actually marking their attendance as they walk in. So what happens when you digitize it? So you can actually predict who's not coming. It brings in accountability of how many people are there in buildings. So, government schools are accounted for. You can start, doing AI on the data to see who's going to drop out, who's not coming to school regularly. So AI is, can impact school organizations, to become much more efficient. Right? So this is the question you were talking about. So we do CCTV surveillance as well as we do have a app which actually does face recognition as well. It's called FaceTagr Patrol, and it's actually used by 22,000 policemen in 3 different states in this country. And we have solved, proud to say, that we have actually solved 5,000 of crime cases on the field. So it becomes a tool for the police to check. We don't live in an utopian world. So we are just starting to build a smart city. That does not mean that we live in a utopia. So there are crimes. There is, people who are going to do crime stuff. We have to, figure it out, right? So we believe in not having guns on the street like US does, rather have cameras which are smarter, which can actually catch criminals, making our cities safer and smarter. That's what we believe in, right? So these can be done without identifying a face itself. So we do this from cities to different organizations. So we find, how many people are there. It might look very simple, but it's a very powerful tool. So how many people are using a certain location? How many people are entering through a gate? So things can be planned better, managed better, serviced better, right? What is the gender of people who are actually getting into a place, right? What is the age group of people getting into a place? All these are anonymous data, but it can actually power a lot of organizations and cities to have enough data to plan the cities, manage them, and service them as well. So I'll give you an example of an organization. So there are about 80,000 people who enter that organization every day, right? So our data gives them real-time dashboards on, okay, these many people have come, so you need to plan lunch for these many people, right? So that's very powerful data. So these many older people are coming, so these many wheelchairs needs to be planned. So people are catered to in a very nice way, right? So how do we plan toilets, for example, right? It's, most of the buildings, most of the structures are based on, okay, you build 4 men toilets, 4 women toilets, you are done, right? So how do you know? What if 70% of the people are actually women, right? So you build more toilets for women than men, right? So that's where data comes into play, and you can actually build smarter cities. And you can do all this with, simple CCTV cameras, and a lot of them have it as well, right? So these are other functions which cater to different needs. So how do you track whether garbage is spilling out or not? That becomes key data for a corporation, right? Whether it brings in accountability of whether, which garbage bins to pick up. There are many. How you can, with CCTV cameras, you can see how many parking lots are available in any place, right? So you can do many things with it. Fire detection, traffic management. You can do occupancy inside, outside, so you can actually do, much better planning, right? What is a smart city if we don't actually take care of the children, right? So I'm going to finish off by showing this video. This is actually happening in Bangalore, right here in the railways, and this is a small, short documentary from a channel News Asia, right?
हो सकता है पेरेंट्स से बिछड़ के आया हो या किसी ने बैठा दिया हो कि उसके मतलब थोड़ा इंक्वायरी करने के बाद में वो क्लियर फैक्ट मालूम होगा।
For young children, it became very difficult for us to trace their whereabouts. A lot of times, children don't know the name of their parents, or they don't know the name of the village or district that they are coming from, and they are very naive and innocent.
ಎರಡನೇ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ಯಾವ ಸ್ಕೂಲ್ ಮಗ ಸ್ಕೂಲ್ ಹೆಸರೇನು ಹೇಳು ಆಟಾಡೋಣ
lot of children in their young age, they actually, run out of their houses, and that's also a big, big percentage of people who are missing in India. So, and if they get in the hands of the wrong people, it's very difficult for them to get reunited with their family. So we have about 4.25 lakh plus missing and found children database. We have actually collated it and connected it to Nanya Parishte.
So in FaceTagr we already taken this map of this child. Yeah, 77% is matching, but little bit features are same, lightly same. But we are confirming while asking him only, because he know very well where that photo has taken. He know very well.
ಅಣ್ಣ ಇದ್ದಾನಾ ತಮ್ಮ ಇದ್ದಾನಾ ಅಣ್ಣ ಇದ್ದಾನಾ ಅವನೆಲ್ಲಿದ್ದಾನೆ ಅಣ್ಣ ಹಾಸ್ಟೆಲ್ ಯಾವ ಹಾಸ್ಟೆಲು ಯಾವ ಊರ ಹತ್ರ ಎಲ್ಲಿದ್ದಾನೆ
ಹೇಳು ಮಾತಾಡು.
See, in terms of children, there is a challenge because you don't know when they are lost. So the kids can actually, be older than that. They're missing photographs, maybe 10 years older than when they were found. So we always keep a leniency in our inference engine so that the humans can actually infer what it is with other details which may have.
If the FaceTagr gives us a match, like in the case of the Guwahati child, FaceTagr gave us 76% or 78% match for the child. We look immediately at the missing report, where the missing report has been registered, and we immediately contact the parents.
See, technology is an enabler. So I always believe that technology can actually, by itself, can't solve a problem. But combined with the human intelligence, it can actually do wonders. So when someone is actually identified quickly, reunited with their families, then the whole ROI of human trafficking is broken. When that is broken, it's not a business anymore, right? So that's what we want to do. Thanks for having me.
Thank you, Vijay. Thank you. Right. Actually, now comes another question. Father Joy, I think you've got one part of your solution. If I might just introduce for a short notice Father Joy here. If you stand up. Right. Father Joy is working for Don Bosco, and they're doing a lot of work of getting the homeless kids back to their parents, and they do a tremendous job on that. It's social community, and it's best. So connect with him, Vijay. There's a solution. Thank you, Father Joy.